inside the Comcast Sportsnet California studios. And this is Raiders Press Conference Live. Next to the one and only Bill Romanowski, I'm Damon Andrews. Thanks for joining us. Over the next hour, we will talk about another Raiders win.
Oh. Yes, we will, Damon. Yes, we will.
And the big thing here is that they came against a division foe in the AFC West, and the Raiders are now officially really in this thing, leading the way. The Chargers' reign over the Oakland Raiders has ended. The first season sweep of the San Diego Chargers since 2001. And, Bill, it came in a dramatic fashion from start to finish. We talked about this before we went on the air. The most complete game from the Oakland Raiders, especially against the Chargers.
You know, you're right, Damon, is they had to start fast. And they had to have great play at the quarterback position with Jason Campbell. They got that. They had to have great pressure on defense against one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. They got that. They had to be able to run the football on offense, which they hadn't been able to do last week against the Dolphins, 2 weeks before against the Steelers. So there are some things in this game they went into, and I was questioning whether they were going to be able to do it. They did it. And they did it in a dominant fashion. And they took that game and they said, basically, there is no way the San Diego Chargers are going to beat us today.
It was one thing when the Raiders beat the Chargers in Oakland. Another thing to take the show on the road and be as dominant as they did. And another thing, San Diego came in on a 4-game win streak. Here's your final scoreboard stats. You will see Jason Campbell, 10 of 16, a $117 through the air. He also had 38 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown by air, 1 touchdown by earth. And Michael Bush, 23 carries, 95 yards. Don't forget, Darren McFadden also in there with a 19-carry, 97-yard performance. Phillip Rivers, his usual volume effort, 280 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And then Antonio Gates, 6 receptions, 73 yards. But you really got to like the effort by Jason Campbell. It wasn't a world-beating effort by any means, but 105.5 quarterback rating. He was very efficient. He managed the game, and he got the Raiders in position to do damage when he needed to, and also did it by way of his feet. He was not afraid to go out on the run.
I thought defensively they had a great game plan, but it was basically this: let's pound the ball, you know, and let's make good decisions and big plays, misdirection plays. You saw a bootleg there. He makes a nice throw here. There's a good pick there by Lewis Murphy. So Ford makes a catch there. Jason Campbell looking off a guy, getting out of the pocket, making another throw there. There was a big one. So there were a number of these plays that he had to make where under duress, he was getting rid of the ball, where in the past he was taking a sack or it was a fumble. So he executed the plan to precision, and he utilized the team, and he spread the field well. And I like the fact that they pounded Bush between the tackles, Michael Bush, and then what they did is they took McFadden, they put him on the edges, and they got him involved in the passing game.
The entire NFL. Michael Bush was a part of that action. We heard from him just a short while ago, the Raiders practice facility in Alameda.
Was sticking with the running game, or was just sticking with it all day long, or is it?
I mean, it was. Coach told us at the beginning of the week we was gonna run the ball. Me personally, I feel like since I've been here, we had been doing a good job running against them, and we stuck to it. And I guess we put up like 250-some yards and came out with a victory.
When Coach told you that earlier in the week that we're gonna run with as running backs, you guys got to get pretty excited all week long, isn't it, right?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, because, you know, there might be a game plan one week and never happens. So, you know, me personally, I feel like show me before telling me. So, you know, and he did it.
Was like for you a week before, what, 1 carry? Is that right? And then then you go 90?
Yeah, I think about the last 2 weeks it's been about 2 or 3 carries.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, you know, he'll tell you, you know, we're going to give you the ball, but, you know, I'm going to show me where, so that's how I always operate.
What was offense doing as a whole that you guys were able to open up those routes for you guys because you were going up against top-ranked defense?
I mean, the O-line was blocking. You know, my head goes out to those guys, and then we did some play-action stuff to help. And the receivers caught the ball down the field, and, you know, just everything opened up with the run game.
When you guys run the ball that often and that successfully, do you know how much it wears on the defense? Like third, fourth quarter.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell those guys. I mean, when you get a defender talking to you, telling you, man, y'all running the ball. Y'all go and tell Hugh, Coach Cable, they don't want it. So we keep running at them, and that's what we do.
So which is the real Raider team? The one you guys go up and you have the 3-game winning streak, you look great, and then the 2 games you don't, and then this game, which one's the real Raider team? Is it somewhere in between? Is it somewhere, or is this?
It's tough. I think we just keep running the ball and doing what we do. Then I think that's the Raiders. We come out, pound you, throw the ball. Then I think we get a lot of accomplished.
You guys, confidence-wise, you win 3 in a row compared to this game. I mean, were you overconfident after 3 wins in a row?
Nah, I don't think winning this game was any different than winning 3 games. We feel like now it's a playoff mentality. You win or you go home. So I think that's where we're at right now, and we all buckled up our chin straps and came to play yesterday.
On that deep pass to Lewis, you were on the play action, right? Didn't they? Mm-hmm. Did they think they had stopped you? I mean, it looked like they're almost celebrating, like they thought they'd stuffed you.
Oh yeah, I kind of got hit on both of those play actions, but that's something that we practiced all week.
Yeah.
They told me just roll over. I figured I just run into the first defender I seen, and it worked, so it was good.
But you were the fake on Jason's touchdown too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. On both of them, yeah. But really on the Lewis, I mean, the TV cameras they were just following you. They didn't even know they were throwing the ball with such a good fake.
Then that's good. I guess I need to pursue my career in acting then. If that's good.
Yeah.
Was it fun for you guys too to go out there and kind of throw it all out of the playbook out there?
Oh yeah, I think it was fun. I mean, to my knowledge, it's the first time that we won down there. So that's a big win, But I felt like it was a home game as well because I was like, yo, we in Oakland or we in, San Diego because there was a lot of Raider fans there, and that was good, too.
I don't think they travel that well to Jacksonville.
No, they don't. Maybe I can get a lot of Louisville people down there or something.
All right.
How about that challenge? Much left just going all the way down to Jacksonville. Back-to-back road trips is tough for any team.
Yeah, it's tough.
Far away
I mean, it's still one of those things where it's one and done. It's an AFC team, I think, too, right? Mm-hmm. So, that'll put us, I guess, a game under Kansas City. Hopefully they lose. They play San Diego. So, it's one of those things where I don't care about the time difference or anything. We got to get there and just play some ball.
Looking forward to meeting up with Kirk.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you down there. So, yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, he knows our stuff, but at the same time, you still got to stop it. So that's the end of the day, you got to stop us.
You watch Maurice Jones-Drew, his running style. He's obviously a smaller back than you.
Yeah, he does. I think him, like Frank Gore, those type of guys, they're short.
Yeah.
So they can get behind the line and, kind of pick and choose where they want to go. So, defense, I think they'll do a good job in. Hopefully.
186, I think he had.
Yeah, he does good, I think, week in, week out. So he's a good back.
Do you think you set the tone a little bit, getting that early sack? You hit Phillip early in the game, and
I really think just saw up in the defense. We started good early, and then special teams, got the early turnover. So I think kind of offense drove down the score. So I kind of think all 3 phases, started the game early.
What was the difference in the attack this past week versus the Dolphins? Because this week you were going up against a top-ranked offense, but it was a different outcome than we saw a week before.
As I said, I really don't know. I mean, like I said, we treat each game kind of like a playoff game. We go into each game, trying to win it, trying to play our best out there. But, I mean, this week we kind of put everything together in all 3 phases, and like I said, it worked.
What kind of benefit is it to you when you're only out on the field for 21 minutes or so of the game?
Oh, it feels good. I think we were 40 minutes last week. Like I said, it just makes a big difference. Like I said, with defense, we're out there, we're fresh. Everybody's ready to fly around and just make plays.
Seems like you're getting pressure on Phillip almost from the start. Obviously, you got him, and then the front four was putting a lot of heat on him, hitting him. How much different was it this time than the first time you played him?
Oh, so the first game, we blitzed them with safeties. Like I said, we had a bunch of all-out blitzes that got there. Like I said, because I think pass rush, struggled early last game, but this game, they came out there. We only rushed 4, and we lined up and played man coverage on the outside. And like I said, we pressed and kind of, threw off their timing. Like I said, the front 4 got there. And like I said, we made plays.
How often did you rush only 4? Looked like it was.
I would say it was the majority of the game. Like I said, we were just, let them go to work. And like I said, we played man. That was the deal. The press on the outsides and kind of we were out there timing because we know when we play zones is kind of when he picks us apart. So we had to go back to playing Raider football, playing man, and to let our front four get after him.
What kind of
Go ahead, Gabe.
what kind of motivation comes when you, as a unit, the defense is watching the offense, you get an interception, the team turns around, they score. Then, you know, you force a fumble, recover it, and they go score. What was it like to have all three phases coming together for the team?
Oh, it feels good, like I said, especially when we get them the ball back, and, you know, and they get 7, like I said, not 3. I mean, anytime they get in the end zone, you know, we want to get them the ball back so they can score again. So when they're playing that good, that's our job, just to get 3 and outs, get turnovers, you know, just get them the ball back.
And knowing how hard it is to defend against a team that is, you know, running it the whole time. We were just talking to Michael Bush, and he said towards the end of the game, the defenders were getting on him, going like, "You guys just keep running the ball." What was it like when you're watching your team go after him with that game plan? Because you kind of know what the defense is feeling.
Oh, we know, like I said, Miami, you know, is kind of letting them ran the ball against us, so we definitely knew what San Diego's defense was feeling. Like I said, they're tired out there, especially with D-Mac and Bush, you know, running the ball downhill. Like I said, snap after snap after snap, you know, it kind of wears on them.
You're talking about the playoff mentality. And that's what you guys have adopted. You haven't had that in past seasons here, at least this late in the season. What's it like? I mean, is it really something that you talk about during the week, or you guys, it's at this point you know what's going on?
We don't talk about it. We know at this point pretty much every game is a must-win. I mean, we got to, you know, like I said, win out and, you know, kind of, you know, get some help. You know, hopefully San Diego beats Kansas City this week. But the main thing is just kind of playing our game and, like I said, winning every game. And I think once it gets to the end, I think everything will take care of itself.
Heat up on Jacksonville at all?
All right, you hear the words from Michael Huff, and you see the actions of Michael Bush. Everybody getting involved, including us on the other side on Raiders press conference.
Just energy, you know, energy and guys playing extremely hard and playing confident, understanding where we're at in this part of our season. And let's say you can always win with effort. You know, whether you make mistakes or not, you can win with energy and effort.
What's the coach's decision to go for it on 4th down early in the game, sort of feed that energy?
Oh yeah, that was big. You know, that you know, shows a lot of confidence, you know, in us, and you know, shows that you know, they was going all out to win this game. You know, we wasn't gonna hold anything back, and for us to go for it on 4th and 1, you know, it paid off for us. And then late in the game on 3rd and 1, you know, instead of trying to run it for the first, we took a deep shot and we ended up hitting it. So, you know, it's a great job of them play calling, you know, by Hugh, and putting us in a position to make the play.
You had any play fakes where guys, the entire defense was faked out as much as those 2 that you had?
I had a couple in college, you know, but the NFL guys are usually so smart that they usually tend to, you know, be on top of all of it. But, you know, it's a play that we repped all week in practice. Didn't know we was going to get a chance to run it. But when he called it, and I was just hoping that we got the right defense because we couldn't use back-to-back timeouts.
I think I was just staring in. So you were back in the end zone. He was still looking in for the
I was surprised and shocked to be out that clean. You know, I definitely expected to at least have one guy that's going to have to try to beat, you know, but to be out there, I literally could have walked there.
Yeah.
But to be out there that clean, you know, kind of shocked me.
And then the one to Lewis, you fooled the TV cameras. They were.
Yeah, the one to Lewis was big. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss him because he was so wide open. You know, I knew it was a big play in the game. It's like, okay, don't even try to overthrow him and throw him to the end zone. Just throw it to him. You know, make sure he secured the catch and, you know, put us in the goal line.
You see those guys celebrating like they thought they'd stuffed Michael?
Oh, yeah. It was fun, though. It was fun. It was a great game. The reason was because we won as a team. And there was no individuals. It was a team. And that's how it's going to take to win the next 4. You know, we got to win them all as a team.
When Campbell called the number on the 4th and 1, were you confident that it was going to work? And if that guy had stayed at home, I think it was Applewhite, right?
Yep.
If that guy had stayed at home, was there another option?
Yeah, me have to beat him or run him over 1. Whatever it takes to get 1 yard. So that's what he kept saying in the headset. You know, Coach Hugh was like, hey, I'm calling this. You can't call timeout. So whatever you do, make it work. So I was like, well, that's good, dude. You know?
He said also that the cut it loose thing is that for him to ask you guys to cut it loose, he said that he can't, you know, that he's got to be the same way. And he said that was part of that, was cutting it loose. And hey,
oh, yeah, you can tell. Sure, by 3rd and 1, calling a big deep ball like that, critical part of the game, 4th and 1, and go for it. You know, I think we was already up. No, that was our first touchdown, right?
Then you went for the next drive, too.
They went for the next drive. Then we went for it again the next drive. So like I said, they was going all out, and I think that speaks to the team, speaks volume to the team. And we caught a lot of deep balls that game, but like I said, San Diego's covering deep, and we just had to check some balls down. And I knew going to the game it was going to be all about trying to manage the game because their offense is so great and they can go up and down the field. That our defense plays outstanding. And one thing we want to do is run the ball, protect the ball, and take our shots when they're there.
So can you guys do the go all out